to Wylde on Health, your weekly holistic prescription for living healthy naturally. How many of you plan to indulge over the holidays? I certainly do myself, only to battle the bulge in a haphazard New Year's resolution. On tonight's show, we'll tell you how you can still eat your favorite treats without packing on the pounds. That's in moderation, of course. Joining me now is Joy Mccarthy. She's a registered holistic nutritionist and health coach of Joyous Health. Joy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. It's really great
to be here.
All about Joyous Health to start with. You know, Joy Mccarthy, Joyous Health, they are... I heard you're changing your name, by the way.
Yes,
Joyous
that's
Health.
what I was thinking. Yeah, to my Twitter name, Joyous Health.
You've got a huge following there. Congratulations.
Yes, because, you know, I always give little sound bites, give little tips on health and healthy living. So.
And if you're on Twitter right now, and you can even tweet us a question, you should be following @Joyous Health.
Yeah.
Let's start off with what it is that you do. I mean, you're registered holistic nutritionist, but how is it that you help people, essentially?
Well, essentially, I help people get healthier, and when you're healthier, you're happier. So I look at people's diets, what they're currently eating, and always start out really simple. So it's kind of funny. I remember a few years ago when I actually first started consulting, and I was so excited to help people that you know, I would want them to change absolutely everything about their diet. And now that I
really gung ho, right?
Yes,
first in
totally.
I remember those days. First year in practice, and like, why can't you just follow this 50 list protocol? And
exactly, and you give them like a 15-page document, and
as if they're going to read it.
Yes, they're taking all these supplements. So I've learned over the years to really understand what my clients' needs are, understand what their lifestyle is like, and have them make simple changes over time. So
and that's what we're doing tonight. That sounds excellent, especially now that we're approaching the holiday season, and a lot of us are having challenges with, you know, prediction in our minds, which is, wow, plates full of wonderful foods and many outings and parties.
Yeah.
How is it that we can still indulge and not pack on the pounds? Let's start there, because you brought a few really nice, scrumptious-looking treats here. I mean,
those are really good.
Are they packing a wallop in terms of calories? Let's start with the basics there. Are they packing a lot of calories?
The thing is, I mean, when you go to a party and you want to get more festive and you want to eat delicious things, the key is to pick things that have ingredients that are nutrient dense. And so, for example, the raw chocolate, you're not obviously going to eat a whole bowl of that.
Right.
But because
still, the moderation is key.
Yes, absolutely. Moderation really is key. But then when you're eating something more nutrient dense that, for example, has lots of good fats, then you're actually going to be satisfied. You're going to be fuller longer. So that's why all of these different treats here have good fat. Okay,
so you said something that really, you know, piqued my interest, because this is what the simple message that I think people have to understand and get.
Yeah.
It's nutrient dense. So explain calorie dense versus nutrient dense, and let's even use that in context of these wonderful looking brownies here.
Totally. Well, a lot of people just focus on macronutrients, so they focus on carbs, proteins, and fats. And what I want people to do is focus more on micronutrients. So what are the vitamins and the minerals and the antioxidants that are in the food? Excellent. And that's why if we want to talk about the fudge, has raw cacao in it, which is so incredibly high in antioxidants.
One of the highest, eh?
Yeah, one of the highest. It's actually 3 times higher than green tea, 2 times higher than red wine, and everyone's always talking about red wine being amazing. But
raw, and in powder form, this is without sugar. There's no sugar added.
So very, very bitter. Yep. This is why. So with this particular recipe,
how'd you sweeten it?
With honey.
Okay.
So I actually use this raw honey. These guys are actually from Ontario. I love honey is amazing. So obviously you can't bake with honey because you don't want to heat it. And then also I put in goji berries.
Very smart.
So you could almost call this fudge, you know, an antioxidant fudge, but it's not very, doesn't sound as appealing.
Right.
So goji berries are great too because they have tons of vitamin C, and they're great for your eyes, as you probably know, because the antioxidants are very, very good for eye health.
And we'll be talking more about sugars and some of your favorites, you know, coming up. Let me ask you, before we go to some of your favorite spices and flowers and some of the other wonderful looking treats we have in front of us, why wouldn't you want to warm up or heat up honey?
So honey has natural enzymes, and when you heat honey, it destroys those enzymes, and they're very, very important for our health.
Okay.
And lots of immune-building properties as well. So honey is raw honey is a total superfood.
Absolutely.
So you want to eat it in its raw state so you don't destroy those vitamins and those enzymes.
Excellent. Some of Joy Mccarthy's favorite flowers, you know, and then before we start into flowers, flowers are ultimately refined, right?
Yes.
So because they were originally a grain and now they're a flour. So help us understand why we can still be using flour, perhaps, and how much and what some of your favorites are.
Yeah, sure. So white flour, as most people know, is highly refined. It's stripped of its fiber, it's stripped of its good fat, and so this raises our blood sugar pretty quickly, and it can pack on the pounds pretty quickly. So I love brown rice flour, also because it's gluten-free, and that's what the ginger snaps are made of. So this brown rice flour has B vitamins. It hasn't been stripped of all its good nutrients, essentially.
Okay, so it's still a whole flour.
Yes.
As you always preach, you're talking about foods that are otherwise not changed to their natural states, could be pulverized. Now, glycemic index on something like this, which means ultimately sugar value. How high is it in rice?
Yes, it's going to be a bit lower. Now, you have to be careful with gluten-free flours, though, because you could buy a white rice flour, and although it's gluten-free, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy.
Right.
So the brown rice flour is going to be lower in the glycemic index. Also, you're going to get more B vitamins, so very energizing.
Let's talk quickly about how we can put spices. We underuse spices, but how we can put spices in our recipes to actually increase our metabolism. You mentioned ginger snaps.
Yes.
Just adding ginger, or perhaps other spices. What are some of your favorites to sort of up the metabolic rate?
Well, I love ginger, and it just has like such a nice zippy zing to it. It really gives food a really great flavor.
And it does increase our metabolism slightly.
Yes, exactly. It's great for your circulation. It's really, really good for digestion, so reducing like bloating, and a lot of people are going to be having that over the holidays.
That's right.
I also really love cinnamon. I probably eat cinnamon every single day. Cinnamon is really, really good, especially for blood sugar balance, so great for diabetics as well. I really like turmeric. Turmeric is, I would say, like the king. It's like the royalty of the herb world.
Turmeric, these are spices in the Indian population for which, the reason why the Indian people don't experience as many liver cancers, colon cancers, certainly abdominal related cancers is because the amount of sheer turmeric that they have in their diets. I often recommend to my patients a tablespoon, if they've got a chronic inflammatory disease, a tablespoon of turmeric powder twice a day. You can manage that. It's a little bit, maybe some raw honey and mix it in and down the hatch. Lead us into Brig here, Joy, quickly. Some of your favorite oils and why.
Oh, yes. I love coconut oil. Coconut oil is another superfood.
I put it on my hands. I would cook with it.
I put it in my hair, take it away the frizzies.
Multi-use, right?
Yeah, totally. And I really feel that what you put on your skin, you should be able to eat.
Absolutely.
So, and I bake. I do
nothing but raw coconut oil in there.
Yes, this is actually my main fat that I use for cooking. And this is really good for metabolic rate as well.
It's smoke point. Do you know what its smoke point is?
It's pretty high. Like you if you're going to saute veggies, and hopefully you're not sauteing your veggies too hot because you don't want to destroy them. But it has a very high smoke point. We've
got classic extra virgin olive oil, one of those other masterpieces from nature, and then sesame oil. What are you using that for?
I use sesame oil for low to medium heat sauteing because a lot of people aren't sure what oils they should be using. And if you're sauteing and you don't feel like the coconut taste, say you're making a stir fry and you don't want it to taste like coconuts, then I recommend sesame oil. But still a pretty low temperature heat.
Excellent. Well, listen, coming up next, we're going to show you how to make a healthy holiday treat that doesn't require any baking.